As content creators, we're constantly on the lookout for the next piece of gear to elevate our setup and make our videos look even better. And for those of us in the tech space, we're doubly influenced by our desire to own all of the best tech stuff out there. Meaning it's quite easy to fall into the trap of thinking you need to upgrade all of the things you have in order to make videos that are worth watching. But that's just not true. In fact, I'm on somewhat of a mission these days to try to provide cheaper or more budget-friendly alternatives to all the expensive tech stuff you see out there, if not to outright stop you spending your hard-earned money altogether. But if you do have a little bit of extra budget left to improve your setup, I think I've found one of the best things you can invest in to make your content creation journey better. Let's talk about it. The Elgato prompter might seem like an odd choice for the best upgrade you can make to your setup, but I can honestly say that, for me at least, it really has been exactly that. As a content creator, I like to script out my videos so that I'm able to distill my point of view into a more focused form than if I were to just ramble on endlessly off the top of my head. Not that I don't do that anyway. But the point is, using the Elgato prompter has allowed me to optimize both the whole process around me recording videos, but unexpectedly, it has also had an even bigger impact on how long it takes me to edit videos. And frankly, with the amount of time and hassle I'm saving, it's allowed me to effectively double my output while improving the overall quality of my videos. So please do tell me how a new Sony mirrorless camera could do that. Anyway, this isn't just a review of the Elgato prompter, it's also a look at how to make your content creation journey a lot less bumpy. Speaking of things that are bumpy, it's time to check in with Hollywood's favorite deadbeat dad, Brad Pitt. Wow, that was a bad segue. As we take a look at the Elgato prompter and ask ourselves, what's in the box? So, in this enormous box, you get another box, because screw the environment apparently, which contains a manual with some helpful pictures. And then a bunch more boxes. The first one of these containing a nice braided USB-C to USB-A 3.0 cable to connect your prompter to a computer. Then next is a universal shroud backplate to place around your camera if it doesn't have an actual backplate that fits it. And then another box containing a bunch of step-up rings for different lens sizes if you're using a mirrorless camera, for example. And then we come to the actual prompter itself. And this thing is pretty hefty, but also very sleek looking and has a pretty decent size where it's not too big, since you'll most likely want to mount it to a table or at least somewhat close to you, but also not so small that you can't read what's on the screen itself. It also comes with a backplate for the Elgato Facecam Pro, which is great if you have one, but in my case I have the regular Facecam Mark II, which unfortunately does not come with a real backplate, meaning I'm left with using the universal shroud instead, which is fine, I guess. I would have really liked it if there was an actual backplate for it, but the best you seem to be able to get is either buying one off of Etsy or using the schematics, which Elgato have been kind enough to release so you can 3D print one yourself. But again, I mean, come on, just give me a real one that I can buy straight from your store, Elgato. And lastly, there's also an L bracket for actually mounting the camera on. And that's it as far as what's in the myriad of boxes that Elgato provides you. Now, here's what the finished setup looks like on my desk. In my case, I actually bought a bundle which came with a Keylight Mini and a cold shoe mount for it, as well as a telescope mount. I also ended up buying a solid arm separately later, which I've used to place the actual prompter a bit closer to myself rather than having it sitting behind my monitor. As you can see, I've got my Facecam Mark II mounted on the L bracket and then covered it with the universal shroud that was provided in one of the many boxes. But again, having an actual backplate for it would definitely make the whole setup look a lot cleaner. So in case anyone from Elgato is listening, maybe take some of the money out of your apparently limitless cardboard budget and put it into building an actual backplate for those of us who have your latest mid-range webcam. Just an idea. But yeah, with all of this stuff set up, all I have to do in order to record videos now is to turn on my lights, load my script into the Elgato Camera Hub software, and now I'm able to start shooting my videos in practically no time at all, which is really clutch and makes the whole process a lot easier to get into. But then, more importantly, it also saves me a ton of time on the back end, both when filming and editing, while elevating the quality of my videos overall. Let me explain what I mean. So the immediate and most obvious benefit of having a prompter is, of course, that you're now able to read your entire script while staring right at the camera and into the soul of the person watching. That's right, I see you. In practice, what this means is that I'm able to write out the entire script of my video and then film it all in one take, not counting the minor mistakes I might make along the way, without having to pause to read and practice my next lines over and over while I'm filming it. Prior to this, I used to have my script sitting in a window on my computer monitor just off to the side of the camera, and I'd have to constantly pause after saying one or two lines just to read the next line, then look back at the camera and film it, and rinse and repeat this process like 50 more times. Not only does this mean that filming would take a lot longer, as I was spending large amounts of time just reading and memorizing lines one by one, but also it meant that while editing videos, I'd have to go in and cut out all these little pauses over and over and over again, which just takes a ton of time and honestly really isn't all that fun to do. I'd struggle with my line of sight going off camera constantly, and I'd struggle with how to cut around these pauses so it didn't feel too jarring, and try to hide the cuts and blend together the footage, which again is extremely time consuming, and the end result was not always great. On top of that, there would be times when I'd have to read off of a spec sheet or list a long product name or a set of features that were just impossible to memorize. And what this meant was that I'd have to focus on reading the actual words off of my computer monitor while filming, and then be forced to fill out those sections with B-roll regardless of whether I actually had any good footage to use or whether it even fit with the pacing of the video. So ultimately, this is why I'd recommend it to most content creators out there. If you're someone that struggles to get through a whole video while remembering your script, then this is an absolute game changer. If you've avoided showing your face on camera because what you're reading is too complex for you to memorize, then this opens up a whole new world of opportunities for you. And if you're someone that usually just rambles without a script in hand, then this will give you the chance to actually start scripting your videos, which can allow you to be a lot more detailed and concise at the same time, meaning you can distill the actual knowledge you're trying to convey into a more streamlined and hopefully more entertaining video, all while keeping that personal touch of being able to just look at a camera and speak. In my case, it has made filming maybe 2 to 3 times faster for me and made my editing at least twice as fast, if not more, all while allowing me to elevate the quality of my content and giving me more freedom in how I choose to present things. So really, if you're a content creator that likes to do talking head type of content and you're willing to invest a bit of money in your setup, then this is a great purchase for you. I haven't even gotten into the other features that this thing offers, such as functioning as a chat window that you can look straight at while streaming, or the fact that it works as a secondary monitor, meaning you can technically put anything on here, which also means you can use it for Zoom meetings, for example, to be able to look straight at the person you're on a call with. But I think I've made my point by now. This thing definitely is a niche product with a use case that only fits a very particular group of people. And if you're not in that group, like maybe you don't want to script your videos at all, then the Elgato prompter is not for you, and there are way better things you could spend your money on. But if you are one of us, then I promise you, your unprompted skills are no match for the power of the prompter. That was supposed to be my Emperor Palpatine impression, and I don't know what that was instead. With all that being said, the most empowering thing you could do with your time right now is to leave a like on this video and subscribing to my channel to help a fellow creator grow, hopefully into someone who can do an actual Emperor Palpatine impression. If you're into desk setup related things, then I've got a whole series of videos on that right here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.